I'm sure by now you heard that something big is happening this 29th to 30th March, where Shani Bhagawan will be transiting, or in Gochara as they call it, to the Meena Rasi. Should you be concerned? What is it all about? Let's talk about it. To understand the entire Sadhe Sati or Yolranatha Chani, you must understand who is this Shani Bhagawan. Shani Bhagawan, in my acronym, I call it RED, R-E-D. Don't go and search online, you won't find it. This is my own acronym. R means responsibility, E means enduring, D means discipline. R is responsibility, E is enduring. Endure means you can take it, whatever problem comes to you, you can take it. And D is discipline. Okay, so if I were to ask you, do you have RED or not? If you say yes on all three, then you are pretty much 1% of the world. 99% of the world does not have it, or the capacity is pretty low. So, what happens to you when you have this problem? When you don't have responsibility, or you don't have the enduring capacity, or you don't have discipline, or it's at a very low level, or it's fluctuating. Sometimes you have, sometimes you don't have. What happens? This is where Shani is ruling. Shani rules these three. So when Shani transits on your Janma Rasi means the position of your moon. Now, why is that even important? I just said that Shani rules RED, correct? And I'm also saying right now that when it's transiting your Janma Rasi, it's going to be a big thing. Why? Is because the Janma Rasi is where your moon is. The moon is personification of your mind. That's what the moon is. How you perceive with your five sensories, how you connect with the world with your logical thinking, cognition, reasoning, and also how you feel. So this RED is going to be applied to your mind. And what's going to happen to you? Well, it depends. It depends to your charts. So in summary, Shani Bhagavan transiting your moon sign, which is the position of your Rasi, as we call it, is where your karma cleanup comes. Whatever that you have done in the past birth, it's called a Sanchita Karma, is coming back to you in this time, right in this phase. Okay. What is it about? More in details. All right, so now you know what Sadi Sati is, and now Yoldanath Chandi, and also the function or role of Shani Bhagavan. But why 7.5? For example, if you take mine, my moon sign or Rasi is in the sign of Mesham. Not a good example, but I'll tell you why. But Mesha Rasi here is where my position of moon. So what happens when Shani comes to Meena Rasi? That is before Mesha. So you have Mesha, and then before Mesha is Meena. After Mesha is Vrishabham. Okay. So when Shani is transiting is just another word. They call it a fancy word. They call it Gochara. It's basically moving right from one position to another. When Shani goes to Meena Rasi, which is exactly this 29th of March 2025, this month here, right? It goes to Meena Rasi. The 2.5 years is starting there already, because it takes 2.5 years for Shani to transit one sign. So 2.5 years in Meena Rasi, and 2.5 years in Mesha Rasi, and 2.5 years in Rishabha Rasi, right? So in total, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 7.5 years. And so during this period of time, I or people all over in the world who are in Mesha Rasi will be starting their Yolranatha Chani. So I know if you are a Mesha Rasi there, give me a high five right now. Don't worry, I am here for you, a trained astrologer. I can guide you what needs to be done. So don't worry about it. But of course, there are other signs, other rasis which should be in concern. I'll talk about it. So I hope you are clear. This is the most important part. Which rasi is impacted, and if you are one of those, so these are the things that you can expect. Okay. First is Magara Rasi. Yay, Magara Rasi is superb, yeah, because this coming 29th of March, done deal, man. You'll be released from the shackles of Shani. You finish, done deal. You have endured the 7.5 years, and I hope Shani has been kind to you. I really hope so. So for Magara Rasi, congratulations. Bring your family for a big dinner out there, and yeah, and hope and pray that this Shani has brought you some good learn, and yeah, so that's for Magara Rasi. Now the next is Kumbha Rashi. Kumbha Rashi, for you all this while, Shani was in your own house. Kumbha Rashi people, the ruling planet is Shani himself. So Shani was sort of the lordship. Now Shani is moving to a sign of Meena, right, which is ruled by Guru Bhagavan. Shani and Guru, technically they are not really friends. Yeah, they have their differences. Okay, I don't get into technical matters. Just to let you know, for Kumbha Rashi people, for you, you are going to the third phase, okay, which is called the Kungu in Tamil, which means is the third and last final phase is called the frozen phase, where things will be sort of fixated and going down, is slowly going down now, okay, for Kumbha Rasi, right? Now the other one is Meena Rasi. Yeah, for Meena Rasi, it's right on your head, right on your head. It is the right in the center of things. Yeah, 2025. What does it mean? It's called the Mangu. Mangu Shani means Mangu means it's like stagnant, but it's not really frozen. It is sustained. It's going on the same path, ups and downs, ups and downs, ups and downs. But it's not going to go really high or it's not going to go really low. It's going to be this upheavals there. Okay, so it's going to be the peak basically for you for Meena Rasi. Don't be scared. Don't be scared. I understand there's a lot of uncertainty here. At the end of this video, I'll tell you what you should be really concerned of. Now I'm just sharing what are the different rasis, right? So Magaram, Kumbham, Meenam. Now the my rasi, which is Mesham. For Mesham, okay, baru mula lah, just starting lah. Basically, 2.5 started already in Meena Rasi. So for Mesha Rasi people, well, as I said earlier, don't fear. It's just started 2.5 years from the entire 7.5 years. I myself is in that list, so you can always connect with me if you have any thoughts or any things that you wanted to clear, right? But anyways, these are the 4 things. Now, apart from that, there's something called Kandaka Shani. Kandaka Shani means is when Shani is in the 4th from your moon sign. Okay, let's say if your moon sign or Rasi is in the sign of Dhanasi, then yes, you have the Kandaka Shani. Kandaka Shani is more on the 4th house, which is the house of Shuka Sthanam. Shuka means what? Just like the Malay word Sukha, right? Happiness, yeah. So it sort of tampers with your quote unquote happiness. Okay. And the other one is Ashtamashani, which means the 8th from that. Simha Rashi is 8th from the Meena Rashi. So for people who are on the 8th for Simha, it also affects if your Rasi is in the Simha Rasi, then it affects the 8th house. The 8th house is called the Ayur Mrityu Bhava, house of life and death, basically house of active karma, which is why we Indians generally don't like the number 8, because if you ask me, or if you ask me, Prakash, what is the house that gives you all the problems? What are the problems that I have in this birth? I'm going to tell you the 8th house. Okay, so Shani transiting your 8th house is Ashtama Shani, which has its own sets of problems. So and on top of that, indirectly, Shani affects the 3rd, the 7th, and the 10th house from where it is. Okay, so if you are part of that, also you're indirectly affected. I know it can get a little bit convoluting, very confusing here, but this is just the basics, yeah. Okay, so those are the things that you should be focusing on if you have those rasis. Now, the last thing I want to say before I end this video session, should you be really concerned, the thing that I'm going to make it clear is that Shani will, okay, bold, underline everything, it will give you problems. Except, as I said, if you're the 1%, if you think responsibility is no big deal, you can take whatever that you have problems, you can take it, and your discipline is 150%. Yeah, sure, why not? Then it's not going to affect. But if you're not, which is 99% of us, then Shani is going to bring your karma to you. So what I'm saying is 2 things. One, get your charts checked. Of course, you can connect with me. I can have it done for you for a very nominal fees. There is no parigaram charges. I've never charged parigaram. And if those who are charging parigaram, stay away from that. You should not charge for parigaram. So Guru Dakshina is there, small fees. Connect with me. My number is in the profile section. And the second thing is, it's a time for you to realize, okay, if Shani is RED, responsibility, enduring, and discipline, maybe it's time for me to pick those up, right? Before Shani comes in, especially for Mesha Rasi, a few more days to go. Maybe it's high time for me to, well, I am also Mesha Rasi, so it's high time for me to improve my responsibility, increase my responsibility, improve my enduring power, and also my discipline. Okay, guys, so I hope this would have cleared some uncertainty. And if there's any questions, just drop me a message. My number is in the profile section too, if you like to know more about this. All right, so take care, and I'll talk to you soon.